He's always quickest to the breakdown, so effective in this aspect of the game.
So I've come back to my roots this week with green flag at the breakdown here at the Saracens training ground. All right, technically we didn't train here when I played, but that's just semantics. I'm here to meet club captain and all-round bearded bear, Alistair Hargreaves. What sort of captain are you? Are you a ranter and raver, or are you cool, calm, everyone relax and enjoy themselves type?
Yeah, I think probably the latter more than the first, but you'd have to ask the boys about that. I'm sort of learning as I go along.
When tough games come along and you lose games, is that where you really come into your own?
We've got so much experience in the squad, international leaders, players with just a wealth of experience across the board. So I think it's important to use the guys you have at your disposal. I like to have a lot of guys speaking. I like to let people contribute. The Kenny Browns, the Brad Barrett, Jamie George is another one. So look, I could go and the list goes on. It's a good bunch of guys, solid leaders, and they've been a great support base for me.
At Bath, we used to try and force, like Michael Claassens before he could speak much English, we used to try and make him do team talks, and he hated it. And he used to say, guys, don't go through the emotions.
Well, listen, the Afrikaans boys have been anglicised now. They've been up in North London for a long time, very, very cosy in the leafy suburbs of St Albans.
What's your role on match day? How do you see it?
Well, there's obviously the pre-match, so getting the boys up for the game. And on the field, there's that responsibility shared between key decision makers, or generals, as a lot of guys call them. We've got a game plan, and between the kind of 4 or 5 generals in the field, we try to make sure that everyone's on the same wavelength. And if it needs a tweak here and there, we're the guys that make the decision.
So you're obviously a very young man. If you were a very, very young man just at the start of your career, and you couldn't grow a beard like that yet, what advice would you give to yourself?
Grow a beard. No. I think work hard on the technical aspect of the game. So I've learned a lot since being in England and around coaches that are very involved in the detail of the game, and spending time with them has helped me grow as a player. I think when you're younger, you just tend to want to get the ball in your hands and run around and have fun. It's a great job.
So concentrate on the detail.
Detail, detail, detail.
Yeah. The boring stuff.
All the boring stuff that we love so much.
In terms of the recent success of Saracens, they've kind of gone from being, when I played here, a decent enough club that won a few, lost a few, but never really challenged, to being really a European superpower now.
It's a very simple philosophy. It is a positive place to be, and we believe that if we treat each other well and we create good environments where families can thrive and guys are happy at home and they like coming to work, they'll play better rugby, they'll put more effort in, train harder. It's quite simple, but I just don't think it's done enough.
These Wembley games really interest me. What's it like when you prepare for a game? Is it different during the week around here preparing for one of those games?
We try to be consistent in our preparation, regardless of who we play, where we play, if it's home or away. And I think the Wembley games obviously stem from our kind of nomadic days where we used to play at a new stadium every other week.
Yeah.
So it's something that's kind of ingrained in the players at the club. Like anyone would, we relish the opportunity to play on the big stage and in front of 80-odd thousand people. It's a privilege, but I think it's important not to let the occasion, get the better of you, to get carried away with all the fanfare that surrounds those things. But at the end of the day, it's a game of rugby, regardless of where you play.
You're preparing for a semi-final now, and is it the case that training suddenly steps up a notch?
If you find yourself in a position where you raise your standards on in a big week, in a semi-final week, it means that your kind of standards have been pretty poor leading up to it. So we like to think that whether we're playing against, the Premiership champions in a semi-final, or whether we're playing a run-of-the-mill LV Cup game or a Storm game for the A-League, we train at the same intensity, we expect the same standards from each other.
Thanks, Ali. Good luck to you, mate.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Good to see you.